What's up, everyone? This is Ronnie just coming to you today with another video, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and my perception of being what a full-time reseller, flipper, picker, whatever we're calling it these days, self-employment, working for myself, no one else. It's what I love. It's what I do best. But if you're new to this channel, my name is Ronnie. And me and my wife were hard pickers. My wife, Gretchen, probably over the summer, she got a job with JetBlue. Since then, she transferred to a different airline. She still helps out with JetBlue in the summer, but she's full-time. She's not really with the business anymore, so it's just all on me. So with that being said, I'll talk a little bit more. We're eBay resellers, a little bit of Amazon, local sales, that kind of stuff. And we're just going to talk today a little bit. It's going to kind of keep it short and simple about my story, our story, about what it took to get there. My background, I've always been on eBay as a seller, buyer, seller, flipper. You know, first it was with the baseball cards back in like probably late 90s, 97, 90, no, probably 98. Whatever year Orlando Hernandez came out with his rookie card, if anybody can go back to that, that was probably around the time where I was really big into it. I remember the Yahoo auctions. I was on the Beckett sites and stuff like that, trading, selling, buying, all that good stuff. And you know, slowly got away from sports cards. I got real big in the Lionel trains for a while. Then I kind of got out of the trains. I kind of got probably 2002-ish. Real big into sneakers. At one time I had probably 120 pairs of sneakers, just whatever I liked. Not a sneakerhead, it was just I just like sneakers. I would have 2, 3, 4 pairs of the same sneaker. And people got to remember when Jordans came, when they were starting to re-release Jordans a few back then, like Jordans would sit around. Sometimes they'd be on clearance at like Foot Locker, Foot Action. I don't even know what stores they got anymore in the mall because I ain't going to the mall. You know, what's especially like us on the Cape. I live in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Like we had 2 Foot Lockers. One was in the mall. One was across in the mall. And they would have shoes sometimes. I wear a bigger foot. I wear a size 12. So sometimes those shoes would sit around for a while. Get those dirt cheap, $50, $60 for Jordan. You would never find that nowadays. Never. And then we have an outlet like about an hour away, so find some cool stuff there. But anyway, you know, it was always into eBay. I always sold, always did things. You know, right around the time where they came out with the 1099s with PayPal, I kind of dipped out. I was like, not about that, because I didn't keep track of anything, so I couldn't. You know, it just seemed like a whole burden to me to deal with this. And to go figure, a few years later, I would jump back in, you know. So for like about 20 years, moved to Cape. I was a cook, basically a short order cook, line cook, chef, just depended. I worked usually 2 jobs. There was always the morning job. Basically, you're a short order cook. You know, you run the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. But basically, you're a short order cook. You know, you're cooking omelets, eggs, that kind of thing. But it paid good money. Busy restaurant. They need a cook, and they need a reliable person. You know, somebody that's not coming in hungover, someone that's not getting in trouble for having all kinds of, you know, bullshit. Even though I did have a few run-ins there for a while, but it had nothing to do with any of that kind of stuff. Just short-tempered stupidities, you know, that I had to get over in life, and I had to move on from, you know, huge stupid decisions. But you know, we all have them. Some of us get married multiple times, and you know, it's the same thing. You know, you make a stupid decision. But anyway, you know, making a long story short, I was getting tired of doing that. It was the same thing over and over and over, of trying to work 40, 50 hours in the winter. You know, I'm working 35, 40 hours because wintertime's slow in the Cape. Summertime comes, oh man, it's all out go time. Like I would work 4 months straight, no day off, 80, 90 hours a week. Like, it was too much. It was too much for me. You can't do nothing. I couldn't. I love going to the gym. I love exercising. I couldn't exercise. So after a while, you start to put on a little bit of weight. You're not eating properly. Um, Crazy. Which we'll get into something a little bit more down the road. But it also happened later on too, because you're not focusing on what you need to focus on. So I wanted to get away from it, but I needed extra money. So there was a time, 2009, 2010, I moved down to the Dominican Republic. I had a little bit of stash set aside. Lived there for a while. Lived there for about a year, a little less than a year. Met my wife. We kind of knew each other before we went. I went there. She's the reason why I went there. Hung out with her. She didn't want to come here in the beginning, but I tried working down there a few different places. Wasn't happening. Money's too short. Can't make it work. So we came back. The whole visa thing, citizenship thing. She's American citizen now. They got the show on TV, 90 Day Fiance. It's like, yo, I could have our 90 Day Fiance story, man. That thing would have been funny as hell. But been married now 8 years, but when we first came here, she didn't have a job. I went back to work. It was middle of winter. It was January I came back. And it was like, okay. Sold everything before I went. For the most part, I didn't know when I was coming back. I even sold my truck, which I wish I didn't, because it took me a little while to, no. Yeah, I did. I did sell my truck. And then I picked up another vehicle and I stashed at my parents for a few months. But the second time I went back. But anyway, it took a little while to get back and get running and get going and everything. So I started flipping stuff. I knew, okay, you know how to basically resell, you buy, but I didn't know there was anything like really. I just thought it was hustling. Like, you're just trying to make money, like, legally, not on the corner selling crack, selling whatever kids sell now, fentanyl, heroin, whatever. You're just buying something from point A and giving it to point B, because there's a markup for it. Somebody needs money today, you buy a laptop, $100. You flip it to so-and-so, 175. Guess what? You made $75 in your pocket. That was what it was all about for a while. I was flipping the PS3s at the time, the Xbox, I think it was 360. I didn't really mess with the Xboxes all that much. Seemed to be a lot more PlayStations 3s around at the time, laptops, here and there, like vintage advertising signs and stuff like that. I didn't really mess with that stuff as much as I do now. And things I knew, baseball cards or trains. It was very small pocket of stuff because I only knew about so much. I didn't know about everything. But as you go through it, I did that was in 2011 to about 2000, all of 2011, just trying to make extra money. And, I had some issues coming into 2013 and 12. Like, money was just tight. We live in a very expensive part of the country. I was like, something's got to be better. And near the end of 2011, I got into like Amazon. I was like, oh, these games sell better. That I was picking up like bundles of PS3s. I would sell the PS3 sometimes on eBay or sometimes just locally back again for good money. And I would sell off the games and maybe extra controllers to make a little bit extra money. And I would flip it and sell it on Amazon, merchant fulfilled. And it was all good. But then for some reason, I don't know how, I seen somebody scanning books one day. And I can tell you, I will never do that again. Like, for Amazon. And I seen somebody with a scanner. I figured it out. I went on YouTube. There was somebody talking about it. Not like a reseller or anything like that, just some guy talking about some scanner thing. And I figured it out. And I'd go there with my phone and scan and scan and scan. This was like 2012. And then I started the channel because and then I figured out there was like, first I was looking at the storage auction stuff. And then through that, I found like different avenues. I think the first person I found was like think his name was Redneck Picker. And then from there, it was like you found a few other people. It was nowhere near the size of the community it is now. But I found some people selling on eBay, like Jordan B, selling little bit things here and there. And I was like, oh, shit. There's more things to sell on eBay. Like it opened my eyes a little bit. And I was part-time for 2 years. And in that 2 years, we had some really good months. Now, early on, because over the summer I had some issues with a car. I blew an engine in the car. And then we had another car that had some issues, so man, two back-to-back cars, freaking GMC Denali and Cadillac, both just toast. Because when you don't really have money, you're buying cars that are 10 years old. You don't know who had them before. They're over mileage. And man, I was trying to fix my credit, which I did eventually. But man, it was a tough go. But that extra money from reselling, like originally in the beginning, it took us, I think, 3 months when we started on eBay to make $3,000 in a month, like gross. And it took me, I think I did 7 within like 9 or 10 months. And it changed me to focus, because in the beginning, if you watch our videos all the way in the start, we didn't really deal with clothing. It was a lot more electronics, games, just all kinds of things, cookware. Now, I still buy those things. I still source for those things, but I don't find them as often. The clothing is abundant to where we live. Now, a lot of people find this stuff everywhere. I was up in upstate New York just for Christmas. I find good clothing up there too, in Oneonta, New York. And then we're up in a Utica, Rome area because I drove up. We were staying in Cooperstown, drove up Utica, Rome, hung out there for a little bit, and then drove all the way out to back home to Massachusetts, and stopped at a few places. And stuff is everywhere. You just have to know what to look for. Now, if you're looking for, like, that's the thing, you have to expand your horizon and you have to do research. Like, dead ass, you have to research. It's the only way you're going to be good at this. You can't buy a guide and, think that guide's going to help you with everything, because it's a hustle. Because when you do this full time and your money is relying on this, and when I went full time, my bills went up. When me and my wife quit, we quit the same month. We had a 5-week vacation, all from reselling. Like, oh, we're gonna go back to the Dominican Republic. We're gonna chill for a while, and told my boss, blah blah blah. And things were getting a little sketchy there anyway. This is near the end of 2013, I believe. 2014. One of the 2 years, because Chad Goldenfinger Picker, we met up in Orlando. It had to be the end of shit. This is that moment where you like, what year was it? I'm pretty sure it was the end of 2013. But I could be wrong. It could be the end of 2014. Sometimes these years all running together now. But anyway, been reselling. I think it's been 4 years now. Pretty sure it's been 4 years. Yeah, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 5 years. Been a few years. But anyway, making a long story short, we were out there and it was a hustle. Like, we had the warehouse, we had everything, but not having a good location with the warehouse. I made a video about that. We had, trials and tribulations, and we were going crazy into it. It was interesting. But man, I remember getting into clothing, and most of you people probably know Rick and Profit. Me and him would text each other back and forth about things we were picking up, things we found, constantly, But at the time, I had to leave YouTube because I could not constantly keep making videos, because when you're doing certain things, working and trying to grow a business, certain things just got to get cut out. YouTube is not all that much money. YouTube has never even paid my truck payment. I wish it would, but it doesn't. But I'm not consistent at it either. If I was more consistent, it would probably yield better, and so on and so forth. So be it. It's what it is. But anyway, back into our thing. It's constantly a hustle when you have to defend for yourself and make that money. Biggest problem is a lot of people talk about healthcare. We have health insurance. It's through Tufts, and we get it through Mass Health or whatever it is. It's a website. You don't have health insurance for your job, you go through them, you fill out applications, blah, blah, blah. And you get to choose from like 8, 10 different providers of who you want for insurance and give you monthly payment plans based on that. We've been doing that for the last 4 years. I didn't have insurance when I worked for somebody else. Didn't have it. And it's not till I worked for myself that I was able to have health insurance, believe it or not. And I mean, the first 2 new cars I've ever owned, and I'm not sure if I would ever own a new car again. Not really worth it in my experience thinking about it. If I sound a little raspy, it's because I've been sick. Been better the last 2 days, but it's still a little raspy. But it wasn't until I was a full-time reseller that I had new cars, and not sure if I would do it again. Not really the greatest investment. But at the time, I was getting rid of a truck that was basically trash. I just replaced the engine. We got in an accident. I needed to get rid of it. I owed about $4,000 on it, and they were willing to pay it off, put me in a new car. Yeah. They marked that car up and this and that. Yeah. I know. But hey, got me out of it. Got me into a new Camry. Had that for 4 years. Almost paid it off, and then I bought a brand new Suburban. But got a really good interest rate. I'd probably pay the truck off, but it's only a 2.9% financing, so it doesn't make any sense to pay it off. I can use that money for other things, but I hate debt. People make this seem so easy, like you're just gonna go out there and you kill it. And Gary Vee is one of those people. I watch this guy. And I don't know who he is from a hole in the wall, other than he likes to swear fuck every other word, and he wants to grab your attention like, hey, here I am. It's like, oh, dude, seriously, like, what is wrong with you? And either you like him or you don't like him. I haven't paid enough attention to homeboy, other than I don't think I like him, but, please don't give me a dislike for that. If you do, I don't care. It counts as interaction either way, up or down. It's all good. But he's not my kind of person. Then he makes it seem easy. He makes it seem like you're just gonna. I watched something. You just talking about going to a yard sale and buying this and buying that, but you're not talking about. You better learn your shipping. I ship more and more bigger things than I ever have, as I can show you. We ship, and I'm not scared. This thing is huge. This is a box. Ship it. Look at this box. I got another box there too. I got to drop off FedEx. But there's got to be a balance. When you become full-time at this, and tell you when people say I only work 40 hours, very seldom do you really only work 40 hours. It's a constant 7-day-a-week business, almost, in a sense, because you're always answering messages. You're always paying attention to your listings. There's always stuff to list. There's always stuff to buy. You're always involved with it one way or the other. Your mind totally has to be set. Now, you have to love it. Like any other job, you have to love it, or reselling becomes another chore. You should have some money set aside. When we went full-time reselling, we had about 15 grand set aside, though we did take a 5-week vacation where my boss wasn't allowing me to get that vacation. Gave the time, supposed to get paid 4 weeks. And I was cool with that. 1 week, I don't have it, but I'm taking 5 weeks. He was cool with it. We had issues with another employee, and I was done with it at that time. You're not going to tell me I can't take time off because you're going to have to work a little extra because we have an issue with an employee, and tell me, oh, well, you can't go on your vacation. Sorry. Like, that doesn't work a week or 10 days before I'm going away. Like, the apron went flying and I'm done. I'm out that door. Like, see it. Like, I'm done. Like, this is not even a conversation. I would have loved to, and maybe if I would have thought about it a little better, maybe if I didn't have my vacation planned, I would have not did it that way. But I was just mentally, physically fried from working for someone else, like constantly. Like, we'd have set days off, and then if a holiday or something fell on that day, like New Year's Day, let's just say, because tomorrow, like, it would fall on my day off, and I'd be like, oh, cool, I don't have to work that day. And your boss would be like, yo, you're working tomorrow, I'm taking tomorrow off. It's like, Seriously. Oh, not for anything, just because you have to be someplace. Like when I had to be at the restaurant, I had to be at 5:30 in the morning. It was like, it's just it throws off your whole week if you have to change your days up or you have something planned. It was just a constant craziness. We had money set aside, but then like we didn't have any eBay sales coming in. We went away for 5 weeks. A lot of money was spent, and it took a whole year for me really to get things on track. It took literally, I did it the wrong way. I wish we would have waited another year. And another thing, we were in the process of buying a house, didn't really realize that when you dip out and become self-employed, they wanted you to be self-employed for 2 years. Didn't know that. Now, that's just me not dealing with bank loans and stuff like that and dealing with housing and talking to somebody that is not really it's like talking to Joe Smo down the street because he's your friend about taxes. It's like, no, you should really talk to someone about taxes, not your mailman or something like that. And that's what I did with that situation. We were about to buy a house, and tell you the truth, it cost us a lot of money because we would have bought a house in 2013, 2014, and put it off. Would have been a lot cheaper than what houses are going for right now. Now we're in a position where we have to sit back and wait for the market to dip out a little bit, which it will because it's too high right now. I'm not buying at the market right now. It's too high from where I want to be. So it costed me that, as I should have waited. We were getting approved for $350,000, I think, at the time, which would have bought us a really nice house then. House prices, that house probably now is up 100 grand. It's up 25%. So I lost money in equity or whatever I could have earned right now by being stupid like that. And I would have had more money set aside for resale. I was making, I don't know, $75,000, $80,000 a year. I was making almost $25 an hour, add it up, do the math. And my wife was doing okay. She was a assistant manager at a party store, doing good, but it was good having that income and also doing eBay that year, because the year before, I think part-time we did 50 or 60,000, I think, and it would have grew to about 100 at the pace we were going, even working for someone else. So I missed out a lot that year. I really screwed up by timing it wrong, and my short temper got into it. And something I've controlled over time, it's my temper. It's been always a bad thing. It's something in my family. My family, it's on my mom's side. It's my mom's side family, man. It's all the men too in the family. Now that I think about it. Huh. Now the women too, I think. Mom, I'm blaming you on that one. I'm blaming you. But anyway, making a long story short, you should plan it. If you're really doing this, you should try to plan it to be. Just thought I seen something white fly in front of me on the camera. I don't know what that was, but really should try to plan it if you're going to do this full time. Really don't. What I see is a lot of people have one good month. They'll really kill it, especially fourth quarter. Or the first quarter of the year. Most of the time, for used clothing sellers, the first quarter of the year is better than the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is good because you're coming out of that damn summer slowdown, and anything seems like anything better than what it was. Because, like, the 3 J's are usually your worst month: January, June, and July. Period. Like, they're just slower months. People are coming off Christmas. They're not spending as much money. They got credit card bills up to where, so it is what it is. But February, March, and April are always my best 3 months on eBay selling pre-owned clothing. So just think about that. People get income money back, coming in February. People are spending. People want to look nice. Money's out there. But, man. It was really hard, and then what made us really work hard was our desire to not just be complacent. We live in a very expensive area of the country, and I don't want to I don't want to be like, I see a lot of people say, oh, you should cut costs before you go full time. And some of that's true. Like, don't go out and buy a brand new truck if you can put it off for a little while. Or don't do a lot of things because you'll want to really see how reselling goes. Like the crazy picker life, and I love how that guy is honest, brutally honest. I just love his channel. I really wish Homeboy would make more videos. You know, when he does make, I miss so many over the summer because I was so damn busy over the summer. Summertime, I kind of relax on eBay a little bit because it is that slower time. I have a friend that has a restaurant and I help him out. I enjoy working a little bit, helping my friend out. I'm basically my own boss there. Nobody can tell me what to do. Really, I do what I want to do and dip out. It's only for a few hours a day, but you know, I feel good. I feel, you know, moving around, doing different things because when you do this too, another thing which I didn't do, I went from somebody that was working constantly 80 hours a week, moving all over the place, to all of a sudden being stationary, where you're stationary, listing on eBay a lot of the time, or going to a thrift store here or there. But you find yourself at home a lot. You find yourself snacking a lot more, not eating as good as you should be. I put on weight. I took some weight off now. Thank God. I feel so much better. And it's only going to continue because I keep losing weight because I had to change different things. Man, you know, you'd be listing stuff on eBay and you'd be like, oh, I'm going to start snacking. Next thing you know, you eat a damn bag of chips. Like, what the fuck is this? But, you know, there's a lot of different things, you know, and I see this with a lot of different people, you know. But the thing is, if you're going to do this, make a plan. Now, you don't have to always make a plan. You can jump into this and have no money at all. You know, I've heard, I shouldn't say I heard, I've seen people and know people have jumped into this. Like they're done. They're like, I got $1,000 in the bank account, but hey, I got a credit card with $20,000 limit on it. That's good. If you're already a system down and you already know what you're doing, and now you can throw all this time to it, it actually not that bad. Think about it, because let's say that credit card, for instance, you could pull on it and buy stuff. What do you got? 30 days to pay it before, you know, if you find the right stuff and flip it. But you got to remember, a lot of this stuff too is slow moving stuff. I mean, for the most part, pre-owned clothing. And when you deal with the more higher end pre-owned clothing like myself, my average sales for the fourth quarter was probably close to $80 per item, per thing sold, $80. Like there was some things less, some things more. We added a lot more different things in there this past month also, made our sale higher. I don't mess around and chase this stuff from the bins and so on and so forth, because I think it's a business model that I don't want to follow. You find a lot more pickier, crazy people with the low dollar items. Like those people will beat you up over a $10 shirt. Like just literally leave you a neg and everything, negative feedback. They will drive you crazy. They just stick because it's $10. Like, hey, I want to return this, that, and the other, and they'll force the damn return for you to refund it. They're crazy. That's why I like dealing with what I deal with. It takes more time to source. But this is the plan I built. I built this thing where I have to go out, and during the course of the week, I may hit 25, 30 thrift stores. But I may only list 50, 60 things. But of those 50, 60 things, they're good items. I'm putting probably $3,000, $4,000 items up every week. This is with eBay and Amazon and also online, you know, like Facebook Marketplace, this and that. I'm trying to find, and I'm constantly trying to bring that average up. If you guys ever watch Pete, Craigslist Hunter, I mean, he's always been that little bit of like a mentor. He's always been there. He's my friend. You know, we did the shows together. I could always reach out to him. He's a really nice guy. And it's just fun to see him constantly push that thing where he's over 100. And I'm like, yo, I want to get over 100. I just seen Homeboy put a video out. He did $70,000 last month. Now he has a few employees and everything, and he might pay up for some stuff, but it just shows you that you could do this. You could make really good money. Are you going to get rich? Fuck no. No, you're not getting rich. Very few people are, yeah, not too many people are getting rich off a reseller. But you can have a very good life. You know, I mean, unless you want to have like a $2,500 car note and try to floss. Is it floss? What do the young kids say now? Front like you got money or something like that, you know? You could do that and pull that game if you want to, play games and do all that. Floss? I don't know. I don't know what the young kids say these days, man. My lingo is not good. I'm with the old lingo, you know? But they front like they got it and they don't. Check their eBay stores and you're like, nah, you ain't selling it, buddy. But, just understand that there's no, I think when you jump in full time, there's no right or wrong way. It's just learning, moving forward, and just keeping positive. There's no room for whining, no room for negativity. And you just have to push forward. Like, there's going to be bad days. There's going to be a lot of bad days. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. There's going to be days where you make a mistake and you sell that item and you're like, shit, I didn't charge them enough shipping. Like, I'm ass out $30 in shipping. What are you going to do? Take the hit, move on, and learn from that experience. I thought I bought a bunch of these jackets from somebody off of Craigslist. I looked them over. She was trying to hurry me through. I thought, because I did a lot of research, that I knew what I was looking for. And most of the jackets were Montclair. There was a Ralph Lauren, some other stuff, jackets, and I paid like $300 for $350 maybe somewhere in cash, which should have been a red flag right there that they're not real because they sell for big money. But wound up being fake when I did more of the research. On a Montclair jacket, the tags on the inside, they have a tag. You can go to a website, you can look it up. It'll tell you if the item's real, it has a serial number. I screwed up. I was able to get a lot of my money back by selling the other jackets that were in the group of stuff I got, but it wasn't big money thing. Because I think it was like $30 here, $40 here. But I was able to recover some of that money. I still have those damn jackets in my storage unit as a reminder to say, hey, you're going to have a bad day. It might not be $300 bad, but you're going to have a bad day. Someone's going to return something. And people return stuff all the time. But, man, I don't understand why people get themselves in this funk to where they got to post it in 3-4 different groups and be like, oh, this person's screwing me. You're like, oh, what's it about? $10. And it's like, seriously? Oh, just give them the refund and keep it moving. Like, I'm not saying that, just giving to scammers, but sometimes it's not worth the time or money or effort. Just got to stay positive, push on. And I've given up on eBay before. This month I did $600 my first year. $600 in June and July. I was like, eBay's a joke. Like, I went from doing 3 to 6. I just thought I had one of those really good months. I had a fluke. Like, I was like, nah, fuck eBay. This ain't working. And then I had an issue with my card. I really had to focus. I had to get that new engine, $2,500 or whatever it was. I think it was $1,800 for the engine. A friend of mine put it in for $7. But at the end of the day, 2 months, I think, later, we did 7,000. So it's possible. It's possible. Right now, I've been stuck the last 4 years, I think, right around this $180,000 to $200,000 plateau. That's what I hit, gross sales. Boom, right there. Can't break it. This year, I'm getting past it. With that being said, I'm going into some type of psychobabble here for a while, but like, comment, subscribe. We're going to be seeing a lot more of me videos in the new year. Wife works now Monday through Friday, this time of day, so you'll see me around a lot more often. But like, comment, subscribe, and try to make a video every 3 days. So if there's any kind of video topics and stuff like that you want to put in the put down below, and I'll try to make a video about it. Not everything I can, but I'll try to. My editing skills are very, very limited. So if you're trying to look for edited videos, no, not gonna happen for me. Point and shoot, as real as it gets. There's no editing here, no editing on me either. But that's it. Oh, there's also, hopefully within a few weeks, there's gonna be the podcast coming out. I've come up with this name a while ago with Barry, the oh shit, what's his name? Afro Picks. I think that's your name, brother. One Day Flips. I don't know. I forget people's names, but he came up with this name a while back, and I'm going to take it and we're going to put it in a podcast and we're going to try to have some fun with it. Cloth Talk. So see you later. Have fun. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. See you guys later.